And some brutal year-end headlines. For the president, the Washington Examiner, Biden's terrible first year. And The Hill, liberals disappointed after Biden's first year. New York Post op-ed titled Biden's 2020 to-do list if he wants to avoid a red wave. The list includes firing Fauci and Walensky, bringing all Americans home from Afghanistan, and reining in the far-left radicals. Ted Harvey, former Colorado State Senator, and Laura Fink, CEO and founder of Rebel Communications and Democratic campaign consultant, join us now. Thanks to you both for joining us. Ted, let me start with you. Good morning. Ted, is there a bit of a disconnect here with the president touting the economy while we have record high inflation, an out-of-control virus, immigrants flooding the border, and we're still dealing with the fallout from Afghanistan?
Yeah, and like your one tweet had that he's trying to gaslight the American people, I hope that he does run on this because inflation is at a 40-year high at 6.8%. You've got automobile prices at a 33% increase. You have gas prices at a 58% increase. These are things that are knowable by the American people. They're not stupid people. And the more that the administration tries to gaslight them, the more they're going to be pushing back against this administration. And you just can't cover it up when the consumer prices are going through the roof.
All right, let's take a look at some recent polls. The Real Clear Politics average puts Biden's popularity at 43%. He started his presidency in the mid-50s, and a recent Fox Business poll found that 70% of people thought 2021 was a bad year. 54% say they are not hopeful for the country. Laura, to be fair, the Wall Street Journal is reporting this morning that the U.S. did add a record number of jobs in 2021. Layoffs have fallen to a half-century low. So perhaps that's Biden's silver lining here. Despite everything else falling down around him, he's got those good numbers to tout. Do you agree?
Well, I agree. And in September, we were critics of Biden were saying, oh, you have to worry about unemployment. Well, guess what? Unemployment is at a 50-year low right now. So look, an honest person will say it's a mixed bag in the economy right now. We're creating jobs. People are back to work. But we do need to look at inflation and other elements. I don't think you can discount that bipartisan infrastructure bill that was passed with 19 Republicans, something that he promised on the trail. Schools are open. Vaccines are in more than 70% of Americans' arms. And as we look into 2022, 10 months out, we could see some very different things come election time. And I think Biden's counting on that. I also think in those poll numbers, if you dig into them, you will see that independents are slowly trickling back to Biden. If we see this trend continue, as we see inflation recede, those wages are going to stay there. And Americans are going to start to feel a little bit better about this pandemic, which, let's agree, is depressing. So even though Biden got Christmas presents under the tree by unclogging a lot of those supply chain issues, Americans aren't 100% happy, and that's reasonable. But 10 months is a long time from now. Expect to see those numbers improve.
Okay, and just a quick question here for both of you before I turn to another topic. Does Biden get another swing at Build Back Better in the new year? Ted, to you first, quick answer.
No. We had this very discussion about 2 weeks ago, and Laura said that they would get it passed by the end of the year, and I said no, they won't, and I would say they won't get it passed before the next election cycle either.
Okay, Laura, quick answer.
Go, Ted, go. Well, I may have been wrong about that, but I know Joe Manchin is committed to getting parts of that done. So you'll absolutely see elements of it. But I'm sure Ted will may criticize that, too, when that happens. But it's going to get done.
All right. And some say we're going to see that bill broken off into smaller bills, but we'll see. Let's turn to another topic. You know, it is not even 2022 yet, but 2024 predictions are in full swing. Senator Lindsey Graham with this take last night.
There's something coming out of left field I don't see coming. It's his nomination if he wants it. The Republican base appreciated him. We don't appreciate all the things he does sometimes. But from a policy point of view, he was the most successful president. From a conservative's point of view since Ronald Reagan, it is his nomination if he wants it. And he will be in the White House in 2024 if he runs a disciplined campaign.
Okay, as for the Democrats, American Conservative Union President Matt Schlapp agrees with Joe Rogan on whom we might see on the top of the 2024 ticket.
You have the identity politics of picking Kamala Harris. Why? Well, she's a woman. She's a woman of color. She comes from California. She's very left-wing. Now they have this problem of, oh my God, they've gotten to see Kamala Harris, and she's terrible. So if they're going to replace Kamala Harris, they got to look to the identity politics. And I have to say, Michelle Obama fits that type of thinking. Another woman of color who's obviously got good poll numbers. It's a very interesting idea.
Oh, boy. Ted, a Donald Trump and Michelle Obama matchup? Do you think that's in the realm of possibility?
Well, I definitely think if Donald Trump wants to run, it's his for the taking. He will certainly be the nominee of the Republican Party. I think it's rather insulting to say that a former First Lady should win the nomination of the Democrat Party. I think more of the Democrats than that. But who are the Democrats going to look to? They're not going to bring in Kamala Harris. They're not going to bring in Andrew Cuomo. They're not going to bring in. They're not going to bring in Terry McAuliffe. So they have no bench. Who are they going to bring in? I'll make a prediction. I bet one person that's going to be at the top of that list is the governor of Colorado, because he does check one of those boxes. And he is a very successful businessman, a very successful governor. And I think you'll be interested to see Jared Polis be at the top of that list.
All right. Well, we're recording this, so we're going to come back and play that later on. Laura, if the Dems do replace Kamala Harris as a potential candidate with Michelle Obama, what would the reaction be to that among progressives? Michelle Obama still a very popular figure in the United States.
Michelle, as a former First Lady and as someone who is an independent leader in her own right, of course, Michelle Obama is intensely popular. One thing I will say, and this is across the board with Republicans or Democrats, when women run for political office, they lose 10 points on their approval rating, even if nothing else changes. So women seeking power often are judged more harshly by the electorate, which is something every woman who's ever had her name on the ballot has had to face. And so expect to see that. Her immense popularity may look different when she's looking for the highest office in the land. That said, she says she doesn't want to run. I don't believe that she's running. And I do think that Joe Biden will be on the ticket again in 2024. And as to Donald Trump, bring it on. Come on in. I hope his name's on the ballot.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, we will see. It is going to be interesting no matter who runs. Ted Harvey and Laura Fink, thank you so much for that analysis.
Thanks, Anita.
Thank you.
All right.
Happy New Year.
You too. Happy New Year. Critics tearing into a left-wing commentator for his rude and very personal comment about a Republican lawmaker's large family. Plus, there's this.